So, I'm going to speak to not all of you, so you'll understand. So, rocket scientist. Thank you, Niels. I just left my previous job. I'm going to explain you how. And I think Niels had to find another one for me, so he offered me rocket scientist, which I'm not. But on one hand, not really, but a bit maybe, because probably worked not alone, of course, with a big team of talented people and 350 digital social media buzz and viral campaign in the past 10 years. And you know, it's like rocket science. Sometimes it bursts, sometimes it explodes, sometimes it works, and few times you don't know why, or you try to understand why it doesn't. So I'm a dinosaur, social media dinosaur, because I think I did my thesis in my MBA 12 years ago about viral marketing, when there was probably 3 books, 5 examples, and not much to be said at the time. But yeah, it's a few years I've looked into the field, especially having co-founded and co-managed with Xavier, which is there. Vangsen, which is a digital social media and advertising agency. So if you need one, contact Xavier. They are doing a great job, and there are nearly 100 people. And now I'm leaving for a new venture. I cannot say much about it yet, but I'm still continuing to train brands and helping them understand a little more the ecosystem. Because as you have seen during those 2 days, it's a bit complicated, it's changing a lot, and sometimes, you know, it's not that easy. And one thing that is really key in this new ecosystem is how can you keep people in your organization learn about what's going on, because, you know, so just a warning note, so if you don't know what is an oops, stay in the room. If you know what is an oops, if you know what is Mashable, you might want to have a coffee break, because I'm not going to really talk to you. It's not for guru, it's not for social media experts, for the few executives who are nice enough to join us and that are starting to understand the ecosystem. So David is no more with us anymore, but you know, it's time for a coffee if you are a social media guru. And by the way, David has a great blog, very easy to understand, so you can still have a look on his blog. That is really great to understand what's going on. So first, why should you learn as an organization? Because honestly, your next competition is going to come out of nowhere. It's really hard, and I think every time I work with clients and brands, they are only benchmarking their direct competitor. They are looking into their industry, or they are all doing pretty much the same. They know each other. The problem is, you know, if you don't change, you become irrelevant. And I like this Dilbert cartoon. They basically say, where does your company fit on this comprehensive list? Facebook, China are relevant. And now let's form breakout groups to fantasize about being relevant. And yeah, sometimes if you don't get the trend quick enough, you are going to miss something, and you know, without change you will become irrelevant. Ask Mubarak and a few other leaders recently. You know, change is coming after them, and if you don't adapt, if you don't anticipate, you are going to be coming for a big surprise. And the thing is, if you look recently at PlayStation, at Xbox, at iTunes, at the Kindle, at YouTube, it's pretty even hard to understand who is your competition, because suddenly an e-commerce website can create a device to read books, so it's maybe fighting against Samsung and Sony. Suddenly PlayStation and Xbox, most of you think it's a gaming device. It's not. It's not only. Now you can watch movie, you can download software, so it's like a channel or distribution channel for digital content. And Apple's are the same. They were manufacturing PC, and now they are leading in music and in the phone industry. So I'm really telling you, try to open your mind and try to open your eyes, because suddenly someone can come with a revolution that jeopardizes your whole ecosystem very, very quickly. And we have talked here about digital content, so you say, yeah, but I don't know, I'm selling goods, I'm IKEA, so I don't really care, I have no trouble. Think about it again. In 5 to 10 years, this is what is coming, and I don't know if you have already seen one. It's called a 3D printer. A 3D printer does exactly what the name says. You can print 3D objects. So for now it's pretty basic, it's mostly plastic, some are able to print metal, but let's say I can print this glass home, which means I don't have to have a factory manufacturing them, and you have to transport the basic goods to the factory, and then from the factory to the retailer, to the shop, and you have to go to the shop to buy the glass. You go online, you download the 3D model, you print, and you have a glass printed in plastic at home. So even the non-digital goods are getting digitalized. So a big part of the retail industry is going to be changed in the few coming years. And a 3D printer now is a few thousand euros expensive. It was 100,000 euros before. So maybe there will be one in a shop near you, and you will have one at your place. So it's going to change once again a big part of the ecosystem. So be aware and get ready to change. And to give you an example, at Vansen, 20% of Vansen revenue, so this social media and digital and advertising agency, every year was from something we were not offering 2 years before. So if I take the 10 last year, at the beginning we were selling websites. And then content management, because the website became dynamic, so you had to do content management. And then we started selling SEO, and then SEA, advertising and then keywords. And then buzz marketing and viral marketing came, and we're pretty early on that. Viral video, personalized viral video with callbacks, so even every time there is something new, and blogger outreach. And at the beginning, PR 2.0s and sponsor posts and viral video seeding. And then social media marketing, blog, Facebook, Twitter, reputation monitoring, and mobile. And offline advertising, strangely, yeah, we go back to offline advertising because now our client wants integrated IDs. So that's kind of crazy. Every 2 years, a part of our revenue is from something we're not selling 2 years before. So it's a lot of innovation all the time to keep up, because you need to know what's going on, to decide to develop your expertise, or hire people, or retrain people, master it, market it, sell it to your clients, keep the knowledge updated. So, second things, okay, now we know, okay, we have to change, we have to learn. So provide them with training, okay, that looks pretty basic. The problem is, I still see so many firms where there is not that much training, or 1 day in the year. And, social media, you need to have knowledge in marketing and communication, operational, IT and legal, measurement. So it's a mix of different expertise, and each of these subjects you have like specific learnings to have. And you have even different levels. You cannot ask everyone to learn everything in 1 day. So maybe you need an introductory course, and then when they master the ecosystem and the basics, they can go further. But you need to divide them into smaller modules, or otherwise it will be too much. And them, who them? Employee? No, all of them. It means, everyone, and I think L'Oréal is doing something great now. For example, they're training more than 4,000 people. So they're not going to be expert in social media, but it gives them a broad sense about what's going on. And so at least they understand a bit, even if they're not in charge of digital or social media. Then management, because honestly, they're the one deciding on budget and strategy. So if they don't get a clue about what you're saying to them, they are not going to vote your budget. And here you can do some coaching or reverse mentoring, having younger people in the company helping them. And then of course middle management, because they are the ones who are going to do the stuff. So they need regular training, because things change fast. There is a new, so it's not only one-time training, it's like ongoing training. And experts, so maybe you need a team of experts, but you cannot rely totally only on a team of experts. Now you have to realize your whole company needs to have a clue about what's going on. And in some other firms I've seen what they call learning expedition, so they're taking some of the executives at startups, at Facebook, in San Francisco, or in Russia or in China, because they realize to understand a bit the culture and the rhythm and the passion, they have to go there and meet those firms, they have to go on the field. Or an innovation day, that's the opposite, you invite interesting different people, and not only from your industry, You open up and you get entrepreneur, inventors, artists, but you need, it's like you need your brain to breathe. Of course, if you have no enforcement, enough checking, there is no way you can know if people get what you train, what you teach them, and you don't even know if they use it. So you need to make sure, in a nice way, to control if people get the thing. Maybe the training was not good and you need to change it or to tune it. Okay, so training is the basic, but you really need to put the people in the mood of learning and to open your head. And how many books, sites, newsletter are you reading? Honestly, like really, like don't tell me, yeah, I'm reading. Like, what effort? I know it's tough. I have no time, I have a private life, and I'm already working extra hours. So I try to save you sometimes. For the non-social media guru, 12 websites, not like 200, 12 websites that can help you save time. First one, SlideShare. It's a YouTube of PowerPoint. All the agencies, lots of conferences are sharing their slides on it, so save you a lot of time and some time of money in consulting. It will help you get a bit to what's going on. A few websites, the one of David Armano, and other ones that are more about technology, but that might give you a little broader understanding on what's going on. This is TED, for example, that I listed just before, and it is just amazing. It's one of the best world conference, and all the video are put online for free. A few books. There is hundreds or thousands of books in the social media game. Honestly, for me, this is nearly like the 10 best I've read. So, some of them are more about positioning, more about the context. Some of them are more about a cool best practice, or how now within the organizations they are trying to get the move on, like empowered, but pretty great. But how many people do you follow and read? Like Twitter is a great tool to keep on following top experts in your field. It's not only to know that your friend had a tea or coffee. It's you can follow people that you don't even know. So in Facebook you follow your friend. In Twitter you can follow normally nearly anyone. So it's a great way. And if you don't know where to start, use follow where wrong, and you can search in the bio of people. So let's say, I'm like maybe I should follow some journalists. You can look into journalists, or maybe, I don't know, if you are in the luxury business, maybe look for luxury in the bio of the member, and it will help you find people. LinkedIn and a few other websites are great, but don't forget you can meet people offline too, like today, like at conferences, at events. Another example I like at L'Oreal, one of the person is having 2 lunch every month with a blogger. It's not 20 bloggers in 1 week, it's 2 every month. But at the end of the year, she knows a certain number of them by face. She can nearly call them, so it's a lot easier when she wants to do an event and things like that. And she learns from them every time. It's like they are making their benchmark for her a little. Okay, you'll have the slides anyway. A last one, which I think is really important despite being in social media, is spend a day with your customer. How many brands I've met, and they have all the studios you want, but finally they did not spend 1 day since a very long time with their real customer, and suddenly their understanding about them is honestly far from reality sometimes. So the best is, listening, is in your reputation or being for real. And just to conclude, a few tools. Yammer, that is like Twitter internal, so you can share a link, but it's still private, so you maybe don't want everything to be shared. Or even start your blog, and this is what Vincent has done for a few years. And just to give you an example, every employee, some of them a little more than others, are posting what they're benchmarking. So they're sharing then benchmark with our clients. So you can say, you're stupid, you can charge for that. But that's a great way to promote yourself. Now you are what you share, not what you keep. So the more you share, the more you show you are an expert and you are smart, the more people will contact you. And I think for 4 years, now there is a little more competition on social media, we get nearly 1 lead every day. So I think it's a few million euros we generated by having contacts from brands contacting us because of this website. And just to conclude, Management support. Two things. Getting means, teams, tools, budget on time, and even philosophically, if they don't participate, if they don't take part, if they don't write on the blog, if they don't practice themselves, there is no way you will motivate your team to do the same. So it's really a whole global ecosystem if you want to move people, because nobody really likes change that much, and especially if they don't have time, they don't have means, and they don't have an incentive. Thanks a lot for your attention, and as you have seen, I took a few photos, which I mean honestly all of you. So I will be on Facebook, and Nils is going to share the link with you, but if you want to add me as a friend, feel free to do so.